Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie Thiessen and I'm your GelMoment independent distributor. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this really cool marbled matte nail look. So this was a Pinterest inspiration that my VIPs picked, and so I tried it out and I'm going to show you guys how to achieve this look. So I'm going to use a nail stick today just for making it easier for you guys to see. I painted one coat of lovey-dovey on the nail stick. You don't need to do that. You can just start with just a plain naked nail. You don't have to do a coat of lovey-dovey. You can if you want to make it easier to see where the middle of your nail is, and it's totally up to you. So I've just done one coat of lovey-dovey just to make it easier to see. So I'm going to start by creating this the separation between the pink and the white. So I'm going to start by taking my ultra fine nail brush here and just dipping it in a little bit of Beauty Queen. So I've got a little bit of Beauty Queen on there, and I'm going to start by making a straight line down the middle of the nail. Now, one side of the nail is more pink, or one side of the nail is pink with Beauty Queen, and one side is white with Lovey Dovey and Meet Me at the Chapel. Now, because this goes right down the middle and we have this nail art decal in the middle, we're going to put this line down the middle, which is where that nail art decal is going to go. So it's going to be hidden, so it doesn't need to be perfect. So we're just going to start and we're going to go down the middle of the nail and all the way down to the bottom, to the tip of the nail. So you don't need very much, you just want there to be a line down the middle of the nail. Like I said, it does not need to be perfect. We will be covering it up with the styling strip or the nail art decal, so it's just totally up to you which one you use. So we'll just go all the way down. So you can see there we've got a fairly straight line. It does not need to be perfect, and what we're going to do is flash cure this. Just pop it under the lamp for about 5 to 10 seconds just to give it enough to solidify it, enough that it's not going to wipe off if we need to wipe it off afterwards. So there we go. Turn the lamp off. So now it's solidified on there enough that it's not going to wipe off if we need to correct a mistake later on. So now I'm going to decide which side of my nail I'm going to make pink and which side I'm going to make white. So I'll do this side here pink. So I've got Beauty Queen that I'm going to make the pink with. And I'm using just the brush out of the bottle here for this. So I'm just going to go along this side of the nail with a thin coat of Beauty Queen. And just staying on that side of the line. Do a nice thin coat. And then we'll pop that in the bottle and push the button to cure it. So now that that is fully cured, we're going to go ahead and do another coat of Beauty Queen over top. So now this can either be your last coat or you can do a third coat if you want to. Just depends on how vibrant you want that pink, if you want it to be a little bit more on the lighter side or if you want it to be a little bit more like a richer pink. So we've got our color there. So we're going to go ahead and cure that again. Full cure on that. So there we go. So we've got 2 coats on there. I think that's okay for our video. So if you wanted to, you could add a third coat so that it's a little bit pinker, but that's totally up to you. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the white side of our nail art. So I used Lovey Dovey as the base here, and what I'm going to use is Meet Me at the Chapel for my marbling. Meet Me at the Chapel is a little bit of a thicker polish, so it's a little bit easier to work with when you're wanting to do a marble. So it does have the really fine brush, so just have some patience when you're painting that. And I got a little bit on the other side there, so I'm just gonna make sure I wipe that off before I cure. So we're gonna just painting that in. Sure we have enough that covers the whole nail, but we don't want too much. We don't want any pooling or areas that aren't going to cure properly. So I am using a nail stick, so it is going to be a little bit thicker than what you would use on your nail. You don't want it to be too thick or it will not cure properly. We want to make sure it does cure properly. Just make sure we get all areas of the nail. There we go. So I'm just going to clean that side up, grab a cleansing pad here. So it's just using a bit of rubbing alcohol or our GelMoment cleanser pads to clean up any areas that you may have gotten on the opposite side of the pink there. So I'm just going to wipe that off. It doesn't need to be like perfectly exact because we will be putting that little strip down the middle. So there we go. So we've got those two sides done. So what I'm going to do, oh, there's a little bit on the edge. I didn't quite go far enough down the edge. So make sure you do go all the way along the entire nail to make sure that it is going to be nice and evenly covered. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ultrafine brush again, and I'm going to dip it in a little bit of Beauty Queen again. And now we're just going to be creating this marbling effect by just basically dragging the brush and the polish, the pink polish, through the white, through the Meet Me at the Chapel. And that's all marbling is. It's just kind of an abstract creation of whatever you think it should be. So you can either make this, you can kind of create it the way that you want to. There's no right way to marble. There's no perfect way to marble. You just kind of blend it and make it kind of look the way that you think that, you know, the marble should. So you can either take your Beauty Queen and make it more of like a pinkier base, so that it's more of like a darker Beauty Queen color coming through in your marbling, or you can make it more of like a white base where you've got just the darker, more intense lines coming through of the marbling. So it's totally up to you how you want it to look. So you just keep playing with it until you get it to a point where you're happy with it. So I'm just going to add some extra lines in here, add a little bit more definition. And look at it from all sides to make sure that you've got it to, you know, somewhere that you like, the design that you like, the marbling that you like. You can always add a little bit more of the pink to make these lines kind of more defined. So there we go. We've got some marbling going on there. So now that I'm done with my marble design, I'm going to give it a full cure, pop it under the lamp and do a full cure on that one. All right, so now we have our two separate sides, and now we just need to add the nail art adhesive down the middle. So I have a package of our Moon Sparkles nail art adhesives. This one has a nice line in it that I'm going to be using. You can use some of the more dotted lines. You could use really anything that you want. We also have a package called Las Vegas Boulevard, which has some nice kind of straight lines with some dots and stuff. It's totally up to you what you use. You could also use a styling strip if you wanted to, but for today's example, I'm going to use this one here, the Moon Sparkles. So I have a little piece here that I've popped on an extra little sheet that I have. So you want to make sure that your piece is long enough for your entire nail. So you're going to want to measure it, and you're going to want to cut it just long enough for your nail. So you want to leave maybe like a tiny little bit on the end, just so you have enough wiggle room to be able to adjust it if you need to. So make sure that this is going to fit my whole nail. I think it is. Peel it off. So this is just basically a sticker. So all you have to do is stick it in place, and then you are good to go. So just put it in the center and then hold it on the nail. There we go. And just pull it down a little bit. And then this one is like exactly the right size. I didn't even cut this. It just happened to be perfect. And then what you can do is, because it's a sticker, is you can actually just like nudge it a little bit so that it is totally straight, and then you just press it down once you have it exactly where you want it to be. Now it's going to move if you're going to be squishing it back and forth, so make sure that you're just pressing firmly down without moving it. And once you have it in the spot that you want, you have it in exactly where you want it to be, then you take Clearly Frisky, and we are going to just seal it in so that it doesn't move. Now it's really important when you are doing this step with Clearly Frisky that you are capping the tip of the nail. With this type of nail art adhesive, you're going to have a little bit of a bump at the tip of the nail. So what we want to do is we want to create a little bit of extra polish on the tip of the nail where we can just file it down just a tiny bit so that we get this bump from the strip here going away. So I'm just going to apply a coat of Clearly Frisky over the entire nail, making sure that we're generously covering the top portion of the where the styling strip or your nail art adhesive is, and just making sure that it hasn't moved while we have been playing with it there. And then we're going to go over the nail, the tip of the nail, cover that completely, and then we're going to just brush over again to make sure that we are not having any ridges at the tip of the nail. So now we're going to go ahead and do a full cure on that one. So now that this is fully cured and you've got your styling strip on there perfectly, you're going to just run your finger over the edge of your nail just to see how far over the tip of the nail your styling strip or your nail art adhesive has come over. And so what you want to do is you want to actually take your nail file and just file it down so that it is smooth on the tip of your nail. And then once it's smooth, then you're going to take Clearly Frisky again, and you're going to do another coat over top of your nail just to seal in what you filed down for making this smooth here. Otherwise it feels really rigid and like and rough and kind of pokey almost. So just make sure that you are filing it down just enough so that it does just remove that just little bit of overhang that's there. So then once you apply Clearly Frisky again so that you seal the tip of the nail again, then you are ready to make your nail matte. So you can either keep it nice and glossy like this, or you can make it a matte finish by taking your nail file and just going over the surface of the nail with the buffer side. So this just removes the shine and it makes your finish matte. It's a really easy, simple way to create a different look with your manicure. It takes literally a couple of seconds. Just want to make sure you get over everything. And there you go, you've got your matte finish. So it still looks a little bit glossy in the video because of the light, but you can just keep working at it with the buffer until you get it to be the matte finish that you prefer. And there you go. So that's how you do that nail art design. It's really simple, it's really easy to do, and I think that you guys will enjoy it. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you.